little Cass and little Gray. Oh, there's also little D and the big puppy! Trian? Aren't you...
This is the first time I've encountered a deceased friend while going upstream in the River of Souls.
It really works like this. Just like the other departed spirits we've encountered along the way, I'm also unable to sense the aura of the living on Lady Trian.
Yup, you're right. Trian already knows that she'll not be able to return to everyone's side. But Trian believed that little Cass would eventually return to the Netherrealm. So, Trian has been standing here, at this spot closest to the world of the living, and waiting for little Cass.
Oh... It must have been very tough for you.
But according to what Trian said, we're almost at the entrance of the Netherrealm. Trian promised Trevi and Trinan that when little Cass got here, Trian would get the gift ready and be the first person to run over and welcome you. So, little Cass, don't cry. Please. Accept this. We finally finished it!
This is what Lady Treeby once mentioned. The gift for me that you didn't manage to finish.
The Holy Maiden of Yanis. Even when separated by life and death, their thoughts are still connected.
Trian spent a lot of time drawing this. Trian hopes that little Cass likes it.
Seriously? It's seriously a wonderful drawing. Lady Trian.
This is... our flame chase journey.
Little Cass, we don't know what your journey was like before. Trevi has always said that it must have been a very harsh and frightening journey. But little Cass no longer has anything to fear now, because everyone is here with you in this flame chase journey!
That's right. Only now, when I see Lady Trian's gift, do I realize that I've already obtained so many things I would never have dared to dream of since I embarked on the flame chase journey. It's the first time I've gained so many companions. The first time I picked up the hobbies of crafting and photography. The first time I had dinner with someone else. The first time I went to the market to buy the Chimera doll I'd liked for a very long time and hugged it to sleep. The first time I wore a dress personally made by Lady Aglaya. The first time I went for a walk with Lady Treeby, Lady Trian, and Lady Trinan. The first time I enjoyed the night breeze and looked up at the stars with Miss Hyacinth. The first time I took care of Dromesis with the Trailblazer. Looking back at all these experiences I never thought were possible, it feels as though the scales of my life had shrunk from centuries and decades down to minutes and seconds. And all of them are so precious. I took photos in the past, but they're all black and white landscapes. I don't have a single one with friends. If I had known, I would have taken more pictures.
Trianne says yes! Trianne likes little Cass and would love to take a picture with little Cass.
Sadly, being departed souls, our images cannot be captured in the world of the living.
I thought so too.
What? Are we seriously going to leave any room for regret?
There won't be any regrets. This vivid drawing surpasses any photograph from the world of the living.
Little Cass smiled. Treevee, Trinan, and Trianne's wishes finally come true!
I remember you once said that fate is not the flowers that bloom at the end of the road, but where people tread beyond the gate. Now, the path that belongs to me is about to reach the end. Thank you for bringing me the final key.
Key? Little Cass, why are you talking in riddles all of a sudden?
I have a feeling that soon, this gift of yours will become the key to saving Mister's life.
Wow, that's amazing! Then keep smiling and carry on bravely! Little Cass, Little Gray, everyone, see you tomorrow!
Lady Trianne.
The aura of this place. We have indeed reached the end of the stream of souls. If I go any further, I might lose myself. I must leave now, for the black tide still wreaks havoc in the realm of the living. I seek not to enter the door to the nether realm. Castorus, will you fulfill your duty for the flame chase?
I have yet to make my decision, Lord Mighty.
No matter. Make the choice your heart desires. Even if it takes 1,000 years of waiting. I will continue to fight till I die. Then rise from death. Till the miracle descends.
There is one more thing you should know, Lord Mighty.
What is it?
Professor Anaxa may have deduced the principles behind the Era Nova. You and I may be reincarnated as strife and death in the next cycle, becoming calamities wreaking havoc upon the world.
I see.
Is that all? Are you going to accept such a fate without complaints?
Do you have a strategy to shatter the shackles of our fate?
I haven't found it yet. Perhaps I never will.
Then, cease wasting your thoughts on futile matters. Control what little you can. And when fate's inescapable grasp comes, resist it with the strength of your mighty will.
Thank you, Lord Mighty. I will find the right decision.
In the name of strife, may you meet a fitting end.
This must be the alchemical matrix the spirit mentioned. Let's see. We need to insert Aquila's sky, Georios' earth, Kethali's fire, Fagusa's ocean, and Nestia's love.
It seems our sweet Princess Homebody has made up her mind. In that case, seamstress, I suppose I no longer need to deliver your message. My time is rather precious after all.
Whether you wish to break free from death or not, please, follow your heart. By the promise you once made, I ask that you fulfill your duty one final time. Castorus, please, live as a human, and die as one.
According to that alchemist, the final piece is supposed to be me. However, he is not privy to the past, and therefore cannot see the full picture.
The past?
I saw the twins of death in Kethali's memory, and now I am certain that I was one of them. The trial of the Hand of Shadow demanded taking the life of your family. I died during that trial, falling before the gate to the new world. And my sister, whom I never met, became the Titan Thanatos of this cycle. She was consumed with regret over my death, so she used the Titan's authority to reforge my soul. Yet, it also means she has never revealed herself to anyone, hidden away from the entire world. That's because the Titan she became already fell at the start of everything. They died for me, and now lie in slumber in the River of Souls.
You mean Pollux?
That's right. The River of Souls is no material river. It cannot be blocked by ordinary means. Only a divine corpse can prevent the dead from reaching the next world. And that's why we have to awaken Pollux from death before we can retrieve the core flame of death. We have to reforge its body with the power of alchemy.
But Cass, if that alchemist speaks the truth, does that mean you're also part of the dragon body?
According to those departed spirits, I was indeed born as the dragon's twin. But before we talk about that, have you heard the sighs? No, not from me. The sounds that come from the memories when we were collecting the souls.
Ah, I heard them too. So what are those?
I think it's probably the sign of Pollux's wish being fulfilled. They must have realized how heavy a price they'd need to pay when they used their divine authority to resurrect a dead woman. That's why they exerted every ounce of their strength to send me to Styxia, a city that called for death, a land where none is hostile to death. They never saw their wish fulfilled and fell so prematurely, all because they wanted to give me a new life. Pollux must really want to know how their sister has been after giving their all to save her. That wish is the reason Pollux's soul still lingers in the mortal realm even after their fall, quietly watching and documenting every detail of their sister's life.
Ah, so instead of picking up objects on the way here,
We were instead showing things to a strand of yearning that lingers here. Now, we must weave these yearnings together and restore them into Pollux's complete soul.
but all of this is just a hypothesis, right? What if we go through with the ritual and it turns out totally different?
That's fine. As Professor Anaxa often reminds us, such is the nature of alchemy. The true outcome can only be known once the process is complete. This is why alchemy is also known as the miracle of creation. Now, the puzzle of Pollux's yearnings is nearly complete, with only one final piece remaining. I shall reveal what they have been yearning to know in the alchemical matrix. I will show them my whole life since I left Styxia. Lady Trianne has already drawn a picture of my entire life, and it is now in my hands. Then, let the ritual begin. And now, the objective is complete. That is all. Such is what Professor Anaxa always says after preparing for an alchemical ritual. And now, Pollux, I shall lift you from the river of souls and reforge your soul. Perhaps you will be disturbed by this, and your body may become horrifying to behold. But if even the slightest trace of your soul remains, the soul that once ferried me to this side of the shore, then please, look at me. I wish to thank you in person. I have obtained everything you sacrificed your divinity for. Lady Alanette.
Did she recognize you? Oh, she must be the first soul we can communicate with here, right?
I'm afraid she is just another spirit trapped here, like the rest of them. The only difference is that I was there when she died. Please, go on. I'm listening. Are you about to tell the story of Styxia?
Yes. You're just as smart as I imagined, but... never mind. Now's not the time.
There's no need to worry, Elder. Take a look around you. You're already at the resting place of the dead.
The world of the dead. But how?
I understand that you chose to remain silent about the story to protect Casterus, the girl who coexists with death. But you no longer need to hide that story. I can assure you that you have protected that girl's life well.
Oh, Please, let me begin. Styxia, the pearl of the ocean, plagued by unwarranted calamity and ravaged by death in the fairy tale. It was the first city-state to shift their faith towards death, even before Idonia did. From where you stand now, I suppose that's a bit hard to believe. Right?
Indeed. I cannot imagine that those from the era Chrysia, blessed with eternal life, could ever yearn for death.
I have pondered the same question, child. But I am afraid there is no clear answer to it.
Journeys and epics are only glorious and magnificent because all things eventually fade to dust. That's how someone once explained to me why death isn't necessary to the world. But I still can't take that as the final answer. Would a world without journeys and epics be worse off?
I take it the one who spoke this line was a general, or perhaps a warrior. I, however, did find some inspiration in these words. Would you like to hear my thoughts, Castoris?
Please enlighten me, Lady Amunet. Though I have already made up my mind on how to handle the authority and core flame of death. Your words might truly guide me toward the path forward.
You and I are neither warriors nor generals. Therefore, journeys and epics cannot truly resonate with us. But what if I reframe it like this? What if love is not a trait bestowed upon mortals by Nestia, but a blessing from death?
Love.
No one ever invented the word cherish in the era when life was eternal. For all the good things in the world could be revisited endlessly, and every bond formed carried no risk of being severed. The so-called Era Chrysia was an age devoid of both virtue and sin. People did not truly live. They simply existed, going through the motions without passion or purpose, then waiting for something to happen. Perhaps the people of Styxia chose to embrace death not out of fascination with its cruel and fearsome side, but instead became fixated and obsessed with the impulses and desires tied to a finite existence.
Therefore, death is not a thing of fear and desperation, but...
That's right, Castoris. It is the reason we shed tears when parting ways, and also the original spark that ignited the passion of mortals. If you truly intend to deprive the world of death, then be prepared to witness it return to a state of stagnation.
I understand. Lady Amunet. Our limited lifespan shapes all that we know and love. Not even the Death Titan has the right to take that away from humankind again. Nestia's love was the chrysalis of Gold's first blessing, but it most likely wasn't understood by mankind. We only learned to interpret this wonderful gift after Thanatos' arrival. If the world was bereft of death, then the Queen of Styxia wouldn't have played midwife in delivering me into this world. You wouldn't have welcomed me into Idonia, and Aglaya would never have invited me to join the Flame Chase journey. None of these stories would ever have happened, and I would never have lived, let alone found happiness. Thank you, Mother. I will use all the love I've experienced in this long life to complete the final miracle. My teacher, Anaxagoras, grant me the wisdom of all things. I call upon thee, the stripped dead dragon's corpse. Rises from the earth, falls from the sky. As above, so below. This is the greatest power of all powers, unstoppable in this world. The great work that commands all death. I shall grant you embrace. Oh, death. Sleep in peace. I'm sorry I have to wake you up from ancient death. And I know you're anxious. Shh. Don't be afraid. Do you remember me? I'm the girl you once carried across the Sea of Souls. Sorry I wasn't able to remember you, but with the help of many people, I was finally able to pick up these broken fragments of my past. I'm back, Pollux. I know this might not be what you wanted. But I have to do this. So please, carry me across the Sea of Souls again and return me to the Netherrealm, just like you did in the past. Please take me to where the core flame of death rests. I'll be going now. They may look scary, but as long as... What's wrong? Are you...
What's wrong with him?
His time is almost up. If I don't go now, I'm afraid his soul will return to Thanatos' embrace before me.
What? Oh no! Is there anything we can do?
Don't worry. I promised I would ask Thanatos for the Trailblazers' right to roam the Earth again. Mem, stay here and keep a close watch until I return, all right?
Alright. I'm the best at taking care of others. Go on, Cass. Make sure not to leave yourself with any regrets. That's not funny!
It's a deal then. Please. Wait for me.
After all that, you still ended up back here.
So the legends were true. The Netherrealm really is a sea of flowers.
Yes. Just like the flower fields we tended to back then.
Is that you, Plixia?
Do you remember me?
I don't have the memories from that time, but I've seen you before during an experiment.
I see. Call me Thanatos, then. It'll be easier. However, since you recognize the name, you must already know everything about Thanatos, right?
Yes. I'm here to reforge the order of life and death in Amphorius.
You know, my sister was a sympathetic, but rather sensitive person. Whenever she didn't want to say what was on her mind, she would avoid eye contact and look off into the distance. Just like what you are doing now.
Can you tell me about the last Era Nova? What did you do, Plixia?
Where should I begin? I suppose we can start from the beginning. A long, long time ago, there were a pair of like-minded twins. As foretold in the prophecy, they were chosen to be successors to the god of death. But But fate was cruel. The price of attaining divinity was to take the life of a family member with our own hands.
That trial was indeed recorded in that memory.
Then you should already know that my sister voluntarily gave up her own life, so that I could ascend as the demigod of death. But I couldn't accept that. Why did we have to kill each other for a future she'd never see herself? That's not fair. So, while weaving the laws of the new world, I shattered the forbidden bottom line for life and death. I reshaped my sister's soul and took the form of the great dragon Pollux to carry her up the River of Souls and back into the mortal realm. But our fates were already decided and manifested in unexpected ways in response to my futile actions. Aging is an unbreakable law of nature laid upon humankind, created at the same time as death. When the living die, their souls will meet Thanatos, who would determine where every soul goes. If the Reaper raises their left hand, the soul is granted death and allowed to enter the Netherrealm to await reincarnation. If they raise their right hand, the soul is rejected by the Netherrealm and returned to the mortal realm to continue walking the earth.
That's why the Hand of Shadow can only lay down judgment and not embrace another being.
Yes. Death was originally a pair of hands, but they were split in twain when we reached the mortal realm, never to touch each other ever again. The half of Thanatos that represents life, the undying human who grants death, that was the curse I forced upon you.
Then, what about you?
As the half of Thanatos representing death, I shoulder the fate of defying death. I died the moment I entered the world of the living. From then on, my Titan also no longer existed in this world. The cycle of life and death stopped. Souls were denied their audience with death, and were left stranded within an ever-rising river of the dead. What irony. My selfish desire to save your life gave you and the world a fate far worse than death instead.
Fate is absurd indeed. Our lives were a mirrored image of one another, like a pair of hands. Even so, we arrived at the same destination. We walked different paths, yet experienced the same pain.
I had hoped that maybe you would at least have a good life in this cycle. I'm sorry.
I lived my life well. It didn't go to waste. As far as I'm concerned, you did nothing wrong.
Even though I forced the authority of granting death to humanity upon you, a total stranger.
Too many responsibilities were forced upon me in the course of this long journey. I was once lost, even upset. But I realized recently that if it weren't for your blessing, I wouldn't have understood the source of these emotions, nor would I have realized my purpose. I wouldn't have made it here to reunite with my missing half. And we wouldn't be discussing our past while sharing the same view of this landscape. I wouldn't have understood the meaning of our existence.
the meaning of our existence.
This sea of flowers blooms on dead land, 'cause we sowed it with the seeds of our separation and watered it with our tears of loneliness. Yes, the only thing death is allowed to create are flowers that bloom from blood and tears. That's why Thanatos cannot create living beings at will, nor can the Hand of Shadow determine a person's remaining days. Because the life and death of mortals should never be dictated by another's will.
Are you saying there's no point in Thanatos' existence?
No. No single being can bear the scales of life and death on their own, not even a god. Life and death weigh equally heavy. We both know that now, don't we?
You, too, must have had a difficult life. We've taken quite the ridiculous journey together, haven't we? It's been far too long. I've waited here for centuries, watching day after day as desperate spirits are denied by this lonely wasteland. I always hoped I would see you among them. But I was also afraid of seeing you. I didn't know how I could possibly face you again. But more than anything, I was afraid that you might have forgotten all about me.
I know. But don't you see, Polixia? I made it back anyway. You don't have to shoulder death's authority on your own anymore. It was always meant to be held in two hands anyway. So, let's give our core flame to him and have him take it back to the mortal realm. Give humanity back their cycle of life and death. Our responsibility as Thanatos was never about picking out favorite souls. We were only meant to watch over life. Let's tend the field together and create a warm sea of flowers for all the souls to come. What do you think, Polixia?
Yes, just one last step. You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. As foretold by the prophecy, Thanatos' authority is only destined for only one person to wield. As the Chrysos heir of death, as their demigod, as a titan, our fated moment has arrived once again.
Just like before.
Yes, just like before. But unlike that time, the ones undergoing the trial this time are prepared.
You've made up your mind?
Yes, as dictated by fate. But I won't be afraid, as long as you're here with me. Complete your trial in this life. Grant me the embrace of death, and light the spark of life ablaze. You've been tempered by life and death. I know you'll be able to give this wasteland its first breath of life. Like a raven butterfly, flying swiftly into the netherrealm, perching on the twig of death. I
will. After this, I will remain permanently in the Netherrealm. The River of Souls shall return here and rain down from the sky, scattering souls across the earth. The cycle of life and death will flow once again. This sea of flowers you sowed shall bear countless joyous or sorrowful souls, and bloom evermore.
Thank you. Just one last thing. Can you grant me one wish?
Of course. What is it?
Please, don't forget me.
I promise you, when we meet in the next world, even if I have endured another reincarnation, even if we do not know each other's names, I will still hold you tightly in my arms, just like what I did when we were born.
Casterus. Casterus. You're as beautiful as a fleeting butterfly.
I will bring rest to death. And from now on, stagnant life will once again flow.
Time flies. In the blink of an eye, the 15th entry hour is already at hand. When this farce is over, your soul will be placed on the scales of life and death. Are you ready?
No need to ask so many times. Of course I am.
Then why do you drag your feet? Is your fear of crowds holding you back again?
I simply find them too noisy. Paying attention to conceited fools like them would be an utter waste of my time.
Such harsh words. As I see it, you are no less arrogant than they are.
I couldn't agree more.
Oh. I did not expect to hear that from you. Are you not going to refute me?
I know myself better than you think I do. At the very least, better than a stowaway like you.
And they say men whose ends are nigh have but kind words. Well, that is exactly why I chose you.
Should I thank you for the compliment?
The hour of the trial has come. Do you have an answer for me? And how will you prove the veracity of your argument?
I suppose there is no point in putting this off any longer. Do you recall where we stopped the last time?
You were saying that Amphorius's history is cyclical.
Indeed. The demigods that bear the core flames eventually become the new titans at the world's end. Remember what happened on the Holy Mountain? Calypso, Naias. As their destined ends approached, one by one they left this world, leaving only the twins, who are fated to succeed death. Unfortunately, while their journey is consistent with ours, you and Calypso as well as Nikador and Naias, act as supporting evidence. I can only come up with a rough sketch for my theory of a cyclical history. For all the pains I took to reach this point, I had already lost hope of ever obtaining definitive proof. After all, the past is in the past. Proving that we are the legacies of heroes of the past is a hopeless endeavor. That is, until I met a girl named Polixia and her sister. If Castoris was truly sent from the past to the present for the Titan's self-serving reasons, then having lived through 2 cycles, and with Styxia as the pivot, she will no doubt be the link to connect all of this together. If the Twins of Death can bridge 2 cycles to reunite at the shores of the Sea of Souls, then my hypothesis will no longer be just a hypothesis. And you too will get the answer to your question.
Well, that is all well and good, but how can you be so sure? If there is even the slightest error in your hypothesis, the girl will be shattered.
It matters not. The most important quality a scholar must possess is foolhardiness. If you are overly cautious, then you'll never have the gumption to make the first step, and change will never come. Besides, I, an Exagoras, am destined to overturn this farcical world. Come, let us go and teach those pathetic worms one final lesson.